What's up guys, welcome back once again to the Gaming Careers YouTube channel. Today we have a super exciting video, which I guess you kind of know about since you've clicked on the title and you've seen the thumbnail, but Elgato have released their brand new product today called the Elgato Key Light. It's going to be a lighting setup for streamers, YouTubers, any kind of creative person that is doing something at their computer and needs proper lighting. And we're going to be diving deep into what the product's all about, how to set it up, and what it will do for your stream in this video. Now, when it comes to streamers and lighting, I think most people fall into one of three categories. Firstly, they have no lighting at all. Now, this is just bad use of your camera. Your camera performs better with more light. All cameras, webcams, they all perform better with more light. So the people that aren't lighting their cameras at all are really going to have a massive performance improvement if they start to light themselves with a light source of some sort. The second kind is the people that are using huge soft boxes and traditional photography lighting to light themselves. Now, these things typically take up a lot of room, they produce a lot of heat, they're not very efficient, and they really require your desk to be pulled out away from the wall so that you can fit these large light stands as well as the large light domes to be able to light yourselves. I've said light 3 times in a row there for different meanings. And the third group of people are the people who have moved to an LED setup similar to what I've been using over the last 6 months. These are like LED panels, they're much smaller, they still require your desk to be pulled away because you still need to somehow mount them probably from the floor, from a light stand of some sort, and they're also super fiddly. You need to get round the back of the light panel to be able to control the brightness or the color temperature. So what the key light from Elgato is it's an LED panel made up of 80 LEDs outputting up to 2,500 lumens, completely controllable from your computer, either PC or Mac. So you can control the brightness, you can control the color temperature, and one of the really cool things is if you have a Stream Deck or a Stream Deck Mini, you can control all of those things from the Stream Deck itself as well. There's a nice soft diffusion to the light because of the front panel that they've mounted on it, and it's also fully adjustable using the metal desk mount. So it doesn't need a tripod to sit on the floor and your desk to be brought out. You simply mount it to your desk so you can push your desk all the way back against the wall. So it's interesting to think about who this key light is aimed at. And obviously Elgato have built quite a few different products for streamers and content creators alike, and I think this really fits in with that target market. So Twitch streamers or YouTube streamers, people that are streaming their gameplay or podcasts or any kind of show, they're live streaming themselves at their computer, need good lighting. This is definitely the kind of product for you. But also people that are creating content for YouTube, things like makeup tutorials or tech reviews maybe, where you need a really well lit space whilst at your computer. I think that's the target market that Elgato are after. So inside the box you get a nice big instruction manual, or just a single page manual of how to set up the key light, as well as the 3 pieces of kit, which is the key light itself, the pole mount which is telescopic to be able to set it to any height, as well as a 6 foot or 180 centimeter universal AC adapter to be able to power the unit. So these are super simple to mount to your desk, very similar to a VESA mount for a monitor or a boom arm mount for a microphone. So if you've done either of those before, it's exactly the same. All you really need to do is set the clamp size to the thickness of your desk, position it where you want the light to be, and then attach the light to the top of the telescopic pole just with a little screw, and then you can position the light exactly as you want in terms of tilt and which direction it faces, and you can adjust the height of the light by tightening and loosening the telescopic pole. It is capable of a brightness of up to 2,500 lumens. Of course, this is adjustable, as well as a color range of between 2,900 and 7,000 Kelvin. Again, this is going to be adjustable through the software or through your Stream Deck. The dimensions come in at 350mm by 250mm with a thickness of just 30mm. The pole mount, as I mentioned, is telescopic, allowing you to set it to whatever height you would like so that it is mounted above your monitors. The minimum is 55 centimeters up to a maximum of 125 centimeters, which is 22 inches to 49 inches for Imperial units. Now, the key lights themselves are designed to be software controlled so that you don't need to go round the back of the device to be able to change things like color temperature or brightness, or even to turn them on and off. So the idea behind that is that you need to pair the light first with your Wi-Fi connection. And you can do that using PC, Windows PC, Mac OS, as well as phones. So Android and iOS, you can also set up the lights to connect the Wi-Fi connection using them. The software itself that you actually use to control the lights once it's all set up is called Elgato Control Center, and that can just be downloaded from the Elgato website. and all of the setup and pairing instructions are included on that big sheet that comes with the Elgato key light. Now that I have finished setting up the lights, I have one above my camera here raised quite high on my left hand side and one a little bit lower down on my right hand side. I've got them all set up with the software, so they're working as intended, and I wanted to show you exactly what controlling them with the software looks like. So if you look down here in the bottom right, we have Elgato Control Center running, and we can control each light's color temperature and brightness individually. So these lights, by the way, they get crazy bright. I can't ever imagine running them at 100%. My camera right now is running at 200 ISO, which is really quite low. But if I change that up to something standard like 400, you can see I'm already starting to get blown out, and these lights are running at 50% max. I'm going to show you what 100% looks like. I'm going to be completely blown out. So that's 100% of just one of the lights, and you can see, I mean, I wouldn't want to play games with the light on that bright anyway. I think it would be too distracting. Back at 50%, and even then, I need to drop my ISO right down to 200 to be a better looking image, really. You can also control the color temperatures of the lights, so they go all the way from 4700 Kelvin, which is what it's set at for default, up to 7000, which is a very, very blue light. I should really be doing both of these together so you can see how the light actually affects it. And then if we go all the way to the warmest, which is 2900 Kelvin, you can see you get a much more orange light. Again, the default is 4700. And another thing I thought I'd mention is you can, rather than having to play around with these controls separately, you can actually lock the lights together. So if you come up here and click Link Accessory Controls, then the lights will forever be linked in color temperature or in brightness, so you can control them both as you wish to. I'm just going to separate them again because I like to have this main one, my key light, to be a bit brighter than this one, which is called the fill light, even though they're both technically Elgato key lights. Another thing worth mentioning is a few months ago I did a video on how you can add LUTs or cinematic filters to your webcam overlay in OBS or Streamlabs OBS, and a well-lit webcam makes a huge difference for those LUTs. So click up in the top corner if you would like to learn how to add a cinematic filter to your webcam to change some of the colors and just make things look a lot more professional, but you're definitely going to get a massive benefit now that you are lit properly too. So you know how easy it is now to control these lights from the software, but what happens if you want to integrate this with a Stream Deck or a Stream Deck Mini if you've purchased either of those in the past? Well, the latest update to the Stream Deck allows you to do that as well. So if you've got the latest version, you can always check for updates, but you open up the Stream Deck software, and you should see that you have this new section for Control Center. You can turn lights on and off, change the brightness, and change the color temperature. So why don't we just do each of those just quickly to show you. So you drag it on to where you want in your Stream Deck. This is on and off. You select the light that you would like to control with that, and it really is as simple as that. Now if I hit the button on my Stream Deck, you can see that light turns off, hit it again, turns back on again. Now the brightness and color temperature controls for the Stream Deck, they just let you to set certain brightness and certain color temperature. So you can't do anything cool like holding it down to decrease the brightness or something like that. I really hope that Elgato add that kind of functionality in, because I could see it being really useful. But you could just set a few different types of brightness, maybe a few different hotkeys, or maybe put all of these inside of a folder if you'd like to, for maybe 3 different steps of brightness or 3 different color temperatures. And then each time you press that button on your Stream Deck, you're going to get that brightness or that color temperature. One last thing that I would love to see Elgato implement is the ability to turn off and turn on both of these lights with one key press. I've suggested this as feedback, and because it's just a software thing, it's the kind of thing I can imagine them putting into a future update. Now the final thing that we're going to be talking about is price. These Elgato key lights, they come in at $200 or £180 for the kit. And while that is on the expensive side, I think they've taken a similar approach to what Elgato have done with their green screens. You can certainly purchase cheaper green screens and cheaper LED sets on sites like Amazon, but the convenience, the feature set, the ease of use, all of these things add up, and I really do think that these are a worthwhile purchase for a streamer that has a little bit of money to spend in their budget, because you get that completely wireless control. You never need to go around the back of your lights to change the, to turn them on and off, or to change the brightness, or to change the color temperature. Completely controlled from your computer or from your Stream Deck if you have them. That's just so convenient, as well as the ability to push them right up against the wall, as in you can clamp them to your desk and your desk can be against your wall. You don't need to invest in light stands. You don't need to have this horrible desk in the middle of your room type thing. It's just, I think the convenience there is well worth the extra price that you would be paying over a cheaper Amazon set. I also think that the actual light panels themselves are a lot higher quality than the ones that you find on Amazon. They get crazy bright. I honestly can't imagine anybody running these at 100%. Even if you only had one, I think it would be enough to really brightly light yourself, enough for any webcam or camera to be able to pick you up very, very nicely. The ability to be able to control that color temperature as well can really suit your environment. You know, if you have different bulbs in the rest of your house, you can match that color temperature, which you can't always do with the light kits available on Amazon. If you would like any more information on these key lights from Elgato, I have a couple of links down in the description below. The first of which is to the Elgato website, where you can read more of the tech specs and more of the other products that Elgato offer. And the second is a link to Amazon. It's a global link, so no matter where you're from, if you click that, it will take you to your local Amazon store where you can check the price and purchase if you would like to. That link is an affiliate link which gives me a small commission if you do end up purchasing the lights at no extra cost to you, so I really appreciate that if you are looking to pick them up. Finally, if you have learned something new in this video, please do give it a thumbs up. That helps spread the word about the Gaming Careers channel. And if you're new around here, please do have a look around at the mass amount of tutorials and guides that we have created on this channel, and do consider subscribing, and subscribers, make sure that you turn notifications on so that you don't miss an upload. A massive thanks to my Patreons this month. Thank you very much for sticking with me into the 2019. These are the people that help me run this channel full time by pledging their support through my Patreon page. So if you would like to help support the channel, please do check out my Patreon page as well, which is linked below. Subscribers, I will see you in the next video. Peace.